Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Welcome a little bit.
This week brought to you by I'm
Red
Gus.
sign.
I'm Miles.
I'm Bernie.
And I'm the ghost of Chris.
And I'm Gus. Chris missed it.
He didn't make it.
He's here.
How mad are you about the change to 5 o'clock where people show up late for the podcast?
Yeah, like this was we never had anyone
Not
late.
really. I don't think we ever had anybody ever late to the podcast. It's a regular occurrence.
Every other week now.
Yeah.
Every other week.
I was kind of hoping.
I hear the coffee machine going off. If Chris Damaris walks up here with a fucking hot cup of coffee, I'm going to lose it.
I think you need to mess with the Google Calendar thing. Because right now, Google Calendar, you have it exactly at 5. You should make that 4:45, so then it'll just be late.
It's not going to
Google-
work on
Google
anybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody
I
can
don't
check
know.
what time we put the podcast out. And they would know. Do you do that, Miles? Do you ever like set your watches 10 minutes ahead?
No, God, no. I just set a lot of reminders on my phone. I just ask Siri to never leave me alone ever so that I don't forget things. Because I have a terrible memory. Horrible.
Yeah, I'm also like one of those people that like when I fall asleep, I'm super optimistic about the person I'm gonna be tomorrow. And it's like, oh, I'll just get up at like 6 and I'll get this done and that done or whatever. And then it's like 7:45 and I gotta be at work at 8. I'm just like finally getting out of bed.
Yeah.
For the first, it's been a long time since this happened, but last weekend I woke up Sunday morning. Normally I wake up at 7:30 in the morning. I have my alarm set for 7:30.
Oh.
Sunday morning I woke up. He's got a fucking hot cup of coffee.
Oh,
You're late and you stopped to get coffee?
What do you
No,
think?
let him get to the mic. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Did you bring enough for the fucking class?
All I heard was, you
didn't even bring the coffee.
I know. I was doing the thing you asked me to do.
and I
What was
said I had
the
to go
thing?
to the podcast.
He asked me to sign up for the podcast Let's Play, and
We're filming a podcast Let's Play tomorrow, so I had Chris
Oh.
come in to
And I
start
was
downloading
doing that,
the-
So
and I
you
was-
were working on the podcast.
I was working on the podcast, and then you said I'm gonna go change, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go, and I was trying to change my password, and it wouldn't let me log into my Xbox account because I had to have a Skype account. I don't understand
So
how.
Chris, if I'm going to sum up your argument here, you were in the other room on an Xbox, signed into your gamer tag so that you could download the game necessary for us to play on the podcast Let's Play tomorrow.
Yes.
Gus, your rebuttal.
It's 5 o'clock. I was in that. I was in that room as well, and I left. I said, I'm gonna go get changed because I got to go get ready for the podcast. I
Yeah.
got to put on a tuxedo.
And then I like zoned out because it was like I was having to log into different accounts and it was merging with Skype, and then it was a mess. And I don't know what time it is, but I think like spent like 45 minutes trying to reset passwords.
Just out of curiosity, why are we doing a podcast Let's Play again? Like, what's going on?
I've been wanting to get it started back up.
Oh, okay.
And just finally have a space for it and have a setup to do it.
And there seemed to be a little bit of hubbub over the first one that I saw, which was you and I believe Barbara
Barbara,
and I believe Blaine
yeah,
and I believe Jordan Spears,
Bethany.
Bethany. Close,
What was
really
the
close.
hubbub?
I almost nailed it.
I get them confused all the time.
All the time. She draws about as well as he does. So you guys played something, but there was a little bit of controversy that you put that Let's Play video on the Rishi channel versus on the Let's Play.
I did not put that video anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I turned that video in, and then the powers that be put it wherever they put it.
Who are these powers that be?
Do
Do you not be a power?
It's Evan and Melissa.
Okay.
I don't know. They asked me to start doing them again. I started it, and I just gave them the video, and they do it.
Yeah.
I do not log in and upload that video.
I got into a really funny discussion the other day with somebody where there was something going on at the company, and I was like, I don't know if I agree with the way this group is doing this particular thing. And somebody in the room does what someone typically does when I say something like that. They go, well, why don't you just tell them to do it the other way? It's like, we go, well, then why would I hire people if I'm just going to sit there and tell people, like, you have to do things this way or that way? And it's like, if I went to that person who suggested that to me and said, you have to do things exactly as I say, it would be like this long, dragged out fight. I know it would.
When I started telling people that I was doing a podcast Let's Play again, immediately, like Trevor and all those people, the first question was like, where's that going?
Really?
Where are you uploading that?
Trevor?
Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm just turning in a video. Not
Do
the
what you will with it.
Not the right person to ask.
Man, there was a video I turned in that like didn't come out for months. I want to say it was the Greg Miller Game Time video that I did, last ever Game Time. Rest in peace. Game Time. Gone. So, yeah, it's and I think I turned that in, and about a month and a half later it came out, I want to say.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was surprising to me. We have 3 videos that I've wanted to make for a really long period of time that we made that are really funny, and we've been sitting on these things coming out, but now they're finally coming out. They're going to come out after MDB finishes its season.
Can I ask, are they those videos that I happen to be present for? And is
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's those? It's those?
It's
oh my
it's
God.
those interview videos. Yeah. So it was a fun take on interviews. And so
Interesting.
I'm just super excited that that's finally coming out.
Yeah, me too.
You'll be fine, Chris. You'll be fine. Hey, you know what I'm doing is I'm having to go through and edit the fucking drunk red versus blue read, all because Miles opened his fat fucking mouth No offense. What was the podcast where I wasn't here and you started talking about?
Oh, it was.
I don't think I was here either. You were like,
it was the
me,
one.
You were flying
Barb,
solo.
Blaine, and Miles.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about that thing until Miles like.
Here's why. Consider that my revenge. Okay.
For
For
what?
RVB 14 and saying, hey Bernie, you've been late on this deadline for a while.
Yeah.
I love you. I respect you. Cohen's gonna rip my dick off if we don't get a script from you soon.
I know.
Where's that script? And you're like,
Hit me
well,
right there.
I got
a great idea.
I got a great idea. You told me the idea. I said, I love the enthusiasm.
The
That's a
idea-
terrible idea.
The idea
And you
was,
said-
tell me the idea.
The idea was, we're gonna get. You said, you're gonna take episode 2, season 1 of the Blood Gulch Chronicles.
Yep.
Gonna get everybody that was in that. It was Jason, Matt, Gus, Jeff, and yourself, and Gus. And
Thank you. I appreciate it.
you're welcome. And you were gonna get shithouse drunk,
Yep.
and then see if you could record the episode from memory with me serving as a narrator to somewhat nudge,
Prompt us.
just to prompt. And I
First
said,
of all, you're terrible at that job. That's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't get a chance to do that fucking job.
My
I was too
lord.
busy watching our CEO cry and Jeff break glassware.
Soon you'll be able to see it as well.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
We made it to the second line.
They were like, Bernie,
and
can you-
people left.
They're like, Bernie, can you select a clip from it that we can show this week? I'm like, I'm sure I can. I can just throw a rock onto the keyboard and whatever it lands on, that's our clip.
But at the end of it, when it was all said and done, you were like, I know we'll get a video out of this though. We're definitely gonna upload it at some point.
oh my god.
And I said, okay, really? And you're like, oh yeah, we'll edit it down. And enough time had passed, and then mom and dad weren't here on the podcast. I saw my opportunity. I knew that if I opened my big fat mouth, then maybe
Mr.
we'd get to see it. You're welcome, internet.
Mr. Man of the People, Miles Luna, goes in and throws everybody else under the bus, and now I've got to get this thing out there. So.
Oh, no. It's a pretty good device for that.
But but that was because everyone got us all the way to 10,000 first subscriptions during first week promotion.
everybody
I was
watching.
very clearly on the podcast saying that was not going to happen. We were not going to hit that
I was
milestone.
genuinely surprised.
I honestly,
hit it.
I was too. I did not think we were gonna hit it.
You know,
Well,
we're dealing with something now.
congratulations.
I kind of want to pre-bitch about something,
Do it. I love when you
please.
pre-bitch.
but the timing of it's weird. You're going to know what I'm talking about here, Gus.
Okay. I'm excited.
We are up for a Webby award
Okay,
for
yeah.
the Tinder trailer.
Let's bitch.
Uh-oh.
So many, many years ago, and
13 years ago.
2004, we were up for best comedy site on the internet. RedVersusBlue.com
Whoa.
was up for a comedy. What were the other nominees in the category?
The Onion,
Very clearly, The Onion.
English, White
English,
House,
wow.
WhiteHouse.com,
Yep.
Oh.
and I don't remember the other one.
DancingBaby.net. Or
Was
something
it
like that.
DancingBaby.net?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, geez.
It was just a long time ago. And so the way that the Webbies give out some of their awards are via public vote. And they, of course...
People's
then-
Choice?
People's Choice.
The
They say, go out and vote get your audience to vote for you. And man, our first year, 2004, we were nominated. Really, it was 2004 award, so it was everything we did in 2003.
Right.
And it was our first year. It was like, this is so cool. We got the audience going, everything. Rooster Teeth audience, they're insane. They destroyed it. They absolutely destroyed it. For like 2.5 weeks, we were promoting this vote.
Modern Humorist was the other one.
Modern Humorist. Clearly stood the test of time. Anyway, we were up against, though, the big one was The Onion, because The Onion had never lost the comedy category ever in the history of the Webbies. And so we asked the audience for what, 2.5 weeks about?
It was a pretty good push.
It was-
Yeah,
it
we
was-
pushed for a while.
A long time. Just seemed like we were just starting out. It seemed like a big deal to do it. And you could see the results of the vote after you voted. And so people would send us all the time screenshots of it. And like the community was tracking it. And we were like winning 4-1. Like
It was huge.
80% to
huge.
20%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just destroying. But they do this thing on the Webbies where the last 24 hours, they turn it dark and you can't see the results until they then announce it. Somehow, in the 24 hours that they turned it dark, The Onion passed us after 3 weeks of voting, and they won the award.
No.
And our audience, because we've been talking about it for 3 weeks, they were like, what happened? What did we do? What happened? And the audience felt bad about it. They were like, and nobody had any explanation for it. It's probably, Gus, would you agree, the number one reason why we don't ever, like, especially the founding guys, we never ask the audience to vote on stuff for us or
It is
anything like that.
absolutely the reason that we do that.
A few years ago, we were up for show of the year for the Streamies, and we waited till like the last week, and I was like, I wanted to like stab myself in the chest before asking the audience to vote for it. I finally made that video asking them to vote for us, and I wish I had done that too.
So I want to say here
Yeah.
just to show like how long. I don't think none of those other websites that were nominated for humor that year, except for The Onion, exist. And I'm looking through the other nominees for other Webbies in 2004, and I came upon Community. The winner for Best Community in 2004. Does anyone want to guess?
Let me think.
No.
Was maybe Fark or Slashdot?
It was LiveJournal.
Wow,
Live
Live
Journal.
Journal. Yeah.
I had a live journal.
Was MySpace up there?
Did you?
I did.
The other nominees were Wikipedia,
Mm.
FictionAlley.org, Friendster, and Suicide Girls.
Fucking Friendster.
Friendster. I don't think
Suicide
MySpace had
Girls.
even registered, like, wasn't even on the
Yeah.
I was
radar
about
yet.
to say, it's like there's a community for suicide girls.
What do you mean? Yeah.
I thought it was just naked people.
People love naked people, Chris.
Instagram, by the way, is constantly pushing on me to follow Suicide Girls.
Okay.
So I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something right on Instagram. That's like I'm
You
showing
had
up
a
in
tweet
that
earlier
algorithm.
today that annoyed me.
I did what?
You had a tweet that annoyed me earlier today. You made an Instagram post which was longer than 140 characters.
Yeah.
So then the tweet came through and like just ended like a quarter of the way through your thought.
So then you click on the link and you go to
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to click on the fucking link.
Guess what?
It's Twitter, not Instagram. Don't fucking redirect me to another social site.
That's how you get the clicks, buddy.
I clicked it, and I clicked it, then I instantly regret it. I'm not clicking on your Instagram links
I
anymore.
thought,
Such a heartfelt-
I thought it was a really good.
It was heartfelt. Wrong
I liked it a
platform.
lot.
You should customize your message for the platform.
What would you now help me out, you social media guru? You in your fucking velvet jacket, looking all dapper over there.
one of
what
us,
should I
one of us
advise?
is obviously a success that should be giving advice here.
Clearly, I have fucked up. How should I have done that correctly?
You should have written a separate 140 character message for Twitter.
Write that one.
No, no, no,
that's
no.
not- no,
Based
you
on
write
that,
it.
no, no.
You
Look,
could have.
There's an
You
easier way. There's an
the
easier
yellow
way.
one-
There's an easier way. You take a screenshot of your Instagram page that has your fucking heart written out all over it and the picture.
What am I,
All you gotta do is, all you gotta do is,
What am I doing here?
gotta
You're the
click
one
on the-
using Instagram. Of course, you're a middle school girl.
Gus has started using Snapchat.
I love Snapchat.
Snapchat is literally the only platform that makes me like people that I know personally less.
Yeah.
Like the more I view people's Snapchats, the less I like them.
Did you like my snap about Big Red this weekend?
I did.
See the
I
fucking thing?
did.
That was awesome.
I'm gonna have to start following you on Snapchat.
I went to a restaurant, like a fast food place. They had like a big pull draft just for Big Red. I've never seen that before. It was amazing.
Shit.
It was fucking amazing.
I don't use Snapchat for anything. I just have it open so if people want to send me shit, they can send me shit. It's
I-
like one of my only open platforms.
I do it when I crave attention, but don't want to bother the people I know on Twitter. Like, here's a filter of me with a nose. No one needs to see this, but they might like it. Sweet likes. I feel validated.
Wait, you don't get likes.
Isn't that how Snapchat works? I don't know
No.
how it works.
No.
You have views. It's a little view. You
Views.
literally
Yeah,
get eyes.
nothing.
Look, I'm new to the Snapchat, and I just rediscovered my Instagram. I hadn't used it in 5 years, and I was like, oh yeah, I have this thing. Oh, it's fun to take pictures and apply filters, and all the comments are like, he lives.
You're back.
Oh, so Twitter has my back. They like my Instagram posts. So how do you like them apples?
Fucking kiss asses.
One of the things I'm trying to do is it was difficult for me to post and this just shouldn't be this hard on our own site in 2017. It's hard to post an image in a journal on the site. Like you have
Yeah.
to put it somewhere. So I put it in my image gallery and I did it through there on our site, but I'm not sure like that's going to show up on anybody's radar. I
Right.
did the same post there because I don't want to make a post on Twitter and Instagram and not have it on our site
Yeah,
too.
custom post for custom platform. Got it.
What's that, buddy?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. You're-
See, Live Journal. That's why you weren't nominated for Community in 2004.
Made it to a live journal. You said you had one. What was it? Tell me, Chris. Tell me about live journal.
Well, it was kind of. I mean, it was before like you could get Facebook in high school
Oh.
because it was when Facebook was only college, so you had to have a college edu.
You had to have a university email address.
Yes, to
Right.
sign up for Facebook. So it was kind of like the precursor for that.
Mm.
And it was a lot of people posting like, you know, really sappy like high school stuff, and then
Can't wait to be friends forever with
Yeah,
all these
yeah, yeah.
people.
and like
Our problems
people. I know a
matter.
lot of people who would post poems and
Oh.
things like that. I didn't really post that often.
What did you post, Chris?
I was just like.
What was the
random
name of your live
thoughts.
journal?
I'm off.
I'm trying to find it right now.
Internet, get on it.
I think I found your Tumblr. Is that a thing? Do people still on Tumblr?
I have a Tumblr, but it's mostly just reposting Instagrams.
I know that's what it is, right? I mean,
What
this
are
is
we
where
doing with our lives?
I mean, really,
It's a big circle.
it is a big circle.
Social media is a flat circle.
What does so is Tumblr still going strong? Like there was a
Yeah,
period of
dog.
time, like
Shit's
4 years
crazy.
ago. Like if I wanna, I go to different places to read about different parts of the company. Like if I want to talk about Rooster Teeth, I go to Rooster Teeth, or I might go to Twitter. If If I want to talk about Achievement Hunter, I go to the subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to talk about Ruby, there's a subreddit for that too, but I mainly go to Tumblr to like see
Yeah.
what people are saying about Ruby. You know,
I mainly go to Tumblr for just fan art and stuff that I think is really cool. But when we got to go to the Tumblr headquarters in New York, I don't think I've ever seen a website in real life. But the Tumblr headquarters is 100% like if you were to take that website and visit it, they had monitors just playing random GIFs everywhere, and it was
Really?
very trendy. It was cool. They were really nice. Yeah.
what's the earliest site you remember like that? Earliest community site?
Earliest community site. Shit. Probably Friendster. Was there one?
GeoCities,
I wouldn't really call GeoCities
Tripod.
There's not really wasn't a community website. It was like a platform to make your own personal website, as opposed to like a uniform thing.
Okay, now you two fuckers over here on the couch.
Zanga.
Yeah, y'all are old and gross.
They're looking at each other like we're old and gross. But it's really important to realize this because these were things that we would have put our business on when we started. Like a lot of people start today now, they start on YouTube or they start on
Right,
Facebook or whatever. And you look at everything that's happening. I mean, it's like we didn't do that. We didn't go on fucking GeoCities, thank God, or Tripod. Can you imagine if we were a Tripod?
Who bought Tripod? Like Yahoo bought GeoCities.
And then just like shut it down,
Bought-
right?
I think it's still around. Who bought Tripod?
It's like such a hipster. And then just like shut it down. Let's see,
Lycos. Lycos
Tripod.
bought Tripod.
Who bought
Yeah,
like
we
Lycos sounds
also-
like a disease or an
Yeah, these are all antiquated brands from, the .com era that just, they seemed like these massive pillars of the internet. But guess what? Gone.
Let me tell you
Like-
something real fast about Lycos, a site y'all probably have never heard of, right?
Not
No.
once.
On May 16th, 2000, they were acquired for $12.5 billion.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Whoa.
And then
You want
nothing.
Gone.
What did they do?
It was like it was a search engine.
Oh, it was like a.
Ah,
Oh.
like ask Jeeves. Jeeves died.
Well, I always remembered when ICQ was bought by AOL and they were bought for $193 million.
Was it that much?
I think it was. And I thought, okay, well, that's it. They got the messaging thing all locked up. Those guys were smart. They made a messaging client for the internet, and then they sold it to AOL for $193 million. Dude, every 4 years, there's been another messaging client that they all do the same thing. I mean, Snapchat does a couple of new things with the filters and all that, but really they all do the same goddamn thing, and they get huge. Like WhatsApp sold for $18 billion.
Yeah. And what's Snapchat supposed to be worth? A ridiculous
23
amount.
billion or
Yeah.
something.
That's like 2 Lycos.
God damn.
What's the story of Mark Cuban? He sold broadcast.com
Yep.
for like 400 million, something like that.
I thought it was 200 million, but I could be.
I wonder how many people know that Elon Musk was one of the original PayPal guys too.
Have you
knew
ever
that.
seen those
I knew
goofy
that.
old photos?
He has a
Yeah.
lot less hair.
He had a little bit less hair. Yeah.
That's impressive. He grew it.
You sell PayPal, you can get your hair back.
They don't tell you that.
He's just like, it's a very stressful job. He's like, they're going, I gotta sell this company. Gotta get out of here.
And that's one of the few ones that I think continued success. PayPal is still huge.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got Venmo and shit, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
that's their
God.
new competition is like that kind of stuff.
Well, I thought PayPal owned Venmo.
I don't think so.
No. We had this discussion the other day.
Oh God.
So we
Sorry.
got for the second to last day of Laser Team shooting, which we just finished Laser Team 2. We shot for very quickly. We went through it. It was just an easy shoot. And for the second to last day, we got the Gordo's trailer, the Gordo's Donuts trailer, and a coffee cart for the whole crew. The cast did that. And so I paid for it. And then Michael, Nicole, and Colton paid me back. And Gavin is going to pay me back at some point, which that money's gone at this point. But they all wanted to pay me via Venmo. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I think I've heard of it, but I don't have it. So I had to make an account so that they could pay me on Venmo. Have you seen this, guys?
Yeah.
It's like a wall where it
Of
shows
your paying-
people's
yeah.
financial
that's weird.
transactions. That's like the ultimate oversharing to
Oh,
me.
have you not used it?
No, I do.
Okay.
I don't
I don't do it
typically don't
public.
go public.
Unless I want to do something embarrassing. to
Make a
someone
joke.
else. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
here's
that's all it
$30
is.
for hand stuff.
That's all it is. It's just stupid jokes, and it's
Yeah.
always the same joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the same joke.
What's a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, here for dildos. Every time, everyone's paying each other for dildos.
It's like
on
the old
Venmo.
jokes you.
Gus is buying a lot of dildos.
It's like the memo field on a check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
pretty much.
So I looked it up.
So we had a discussion
Okay.
about what is this Venmo? I said, well, and they were like, well, we like it because it's not PayPal.
No, it is though.
And literally looked up. The first headline I saw was millennials like Venmo because they don't know it's PayPal.
Yep, I see it right here. I see that same article.
Yeah.
So Braintree, who podcast sponsor on and off, in 2012, Braintree acquired Venmo for $26.2 million. In 2013, PayPal acquired Braintree for $800 million.
800 million.
That's a lot of millions.
What was PayPal.com's original web address, young fellers?
www.pleasegiveusyyourmoney.org.
Gus, what was it?
X.com.
X.
They had a single letter URL.
That's how old that company is on the
If you
internet.
go, I think if you go to X.com, it redirects to PayPal. Let's
right
check it out. X.com.
That sounds like the place where hackers go to hang out.
I think that's why they changed the name because it seemed like
man.
shady.
Yeah, people didn't see it as being like, when you saw it, www.x.com, it looks like you left out something in the middle of the web address.
Our Wi-Fi is awesome here.
Yeah.
It's the hackers keeping you out, dog.
X.com.
They won't let you into that deep
Who
web.
has all the other letters?
Let's find out. We got a few to go through. Let's start with A.
Who has all the other letters?
Oh my God. No, I want to know now.
I've looked it up before. It's like it's the same thing. The old version of that used to be who had single letter tickers
Stock symbols.
on stocks for
yeah,
stocks.
stock symbols.
Mm.
Do you know of anyone besides T?
T and Exxon is X, I think.
Is it really?
It might be.
So it's PayPal.
God,
Yeah.
how much do you think it would cost to buy the whole alphabet? You know, just like
I think single letter domain names
Wait.
are ridiculously expensive.
www.
They're like crazy expensive because it's the shortest thing you can have.
yeah.
I guess like a single letter .co now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the longest time, like they were bought up super early and you couldn't get them.
And what was there was a country that they realized that their country spelled a certain thing, and so then they just started selling the country's domain names. Was it Tanzania? They had TV or something like that?
No, it's I mean, there's been a few of them like that.
And there was like .me and stuff that they were selling. I forget what it was.
I think like Vanuatu
that
is like a
me?
country that doesn't really have much, but they sell like all of their domain names.
Right.
And same thing with Libya, like Bitly, bit.ly. .ly is Libya.
Get the fuck out of here.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know
So
that.
just the Libyan registry.
I'm learning so much about the internet.
So yeah, listen, we've been around
Back
this
in my
fucking
d-
thing forever.
Back in my day, you had to understand the internet.
I am glad that I grew up in a time before the internet was everywhere. Which I don't know
Yeah,
if we've talked.
well,
I'm
It
sure
doesn't
we've
sound
talked
like you
about
did though.
this. I
Happy
didn't-
birthday, by the way, Miles.
Oh, thanks,
Oh
man.
yeah, it's your birthday.
Oh God! Thank you. That was the most frightening way anybody's wished me that today. Oh God!
Chris and I share a birthday. Like we shared a birthday at this company way before there was enough people here for two people to share a birthday. Like you were already employee like number 13 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, get rid of this kid.
I watch your mic, bud. I had enough of the internet, or without the internet, where I had to like. I remember having like a physical map when we would go on road trips, and like,
Now,
I
what
had
does a
it very
physical
young.
map mean? Did you print out directions from
No,
the internet? Oh, you
no,
had
like,
like
a map of Texas.
Rand McNally.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you had to like fold it back up and everything.
Triple A map.
which I was not
Yeah.
good at. But no, I don't know. I before I didn't get a cell phone until I was 16, which I know to you guys is like,
How
oh,
awful.
that's fucking young and shit. But like, I know people elementary school kids that have cell phones. That weirds me out. I don't know why.
Teddy got a mobile phone at 12 when he was in middle school. Was going into middle school. He finally got a mobile phone, and we felt like bad parents because there were kids who had mobile phones at first grade. You know, and it's just like to me that was we just never did that. Jordan, his mom, and I were just like, let's hold off.
I tweeted about my smartphone a couple weeks ago. I was just hanging out and I was having a conversation with a friend of mine in Australia and a friend of mine in Los Angeles. And I went, fuck, that's cool. Like, that's incredible. I'm just casually flipping between these conversations.
Yeah.
And I tweeted about it, like, this is unbelievable. You should always be so grateful that this thing exists. And everyone's like, are you high? I was like, fuck off. This is incredible.
It's pretty cool.
You just told me I want to insult you, but I have to send this message to space and shit first, but it'll do it if I want to call you a fuckhead. That's cool. I mean, you can use it for better things than that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think about how much trouble you'd have to go through when you were a kid to find someone that you admired and liked their work and find them and tell them you're a fucking idiot. It would take so much longer. You would have to stalk them.
You'd have to write a letter.
Yeah.
You don't know if they get it. You have to send a self-addressed stamp envelope to find out what their reply is.
I've attached an extra envelope in case you want to tell me to fuck off back. I'd really appreciate it if you could sign it.
That's actually kind of cool though. The idea of just like mailing people like "fuck you" letters.
Hate mail?
What's cool about
The
this?
old-fashioned way, like where it's like
You cut
it's
up
like,
letters in a
"Oh,
magazine,
wow."
and then you like tape it all together.
No, but like, how often do you get like an actual handwritten letter anymore? Like, you don't.
I send handwritten letters on a regular basis.
I've never gotten one from
I
you.
have stationery, that I use to write.
Send him a letter that says fuck off, Bernie. It'll
got
really
it.
make Chris's
You
day.
got it.
Fuck off, change
Ellie
your
will
birthday.
ask for your address very soon.
The best is when a long time ago in America's Funniest Home Videos, when they would, you'd have to mail in a tape. Be like, if you want the tape back, send an envelope with
postage.
$3.90 postage or whatever it was.
Did they have some requirement to do that? Because it just seems like Was there a legal requirement that they have to return the tapes?
I think if people wanted it, like it might be their only copy. People might not have had the ability to copy a tape.
Yeah, because that's a thing.
Yeah, most people
love
wouldn't.
that
Most
show.
people wouldn't.
Can you imagine how many fucking tapes they got? There was like fast forward to 2 hours and 37
Yeah.
minutes and 15
Whose
seconds.
job was
Like,
that?
just to queue up the fucking
cares?
VHS tapes.
Dude, I'm with you.
archaic.
I loved America's Funniest Home
It
Videos.
was so great. That was like
Yeah.
what my family would watch at dinner, and
I'm-
then my
is
mom
it
would change it to Entertainment
it's just
Tonight, and I would go,
YouTube now.
Yeah, it way ahead of the curve.
yeah.
They were way ahead of the curve, and it was all the best stuff. It was all super clean, but then occasionally they would show Bob Saget would go somewhere and show the dirty ones.
Yeah.
That was,
But then they put like funny sound effects on it, so it was okay.
yeah, it was fun.
That guy is paralyzed, but boy, did that little spring sound ease the pain.
But yeah, and they had Bob Saget doing funny voices. I was like Bob Saget
that's right.
more than Tom Bergeron. I loved Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Tom Bergeron made me sad, and I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, something about him. He just seemed tired.
It's like when the Blues Clues guy changed. It was like, who's this imposter? Get us out of here.
Steve.
Steve?
What'd you do with Steve?
I
Steve
bet
left to
by
be in a
now,
band.
Tom Bergeron's probably done way longer than Bob Saget ever did, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Is the show still going?
I think
No
it is.
way.
I
It
think
is.
it is.
Really?
It is.
Bob,
On what
Bob Saget
channel?
was 89 to 97. Bergeron's done 2001 to 2015.
That's a long time.
And now it's Alfonso Ribeiro.
Now it's Wayne Grady.
Who dat?
Alfonso
Wayne
Ribeiro.
Brady. Sorry. What's Wayne Brady up to
2015.
these days?
You know who Alfonso Ribeiro is? It's Carlton.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know that guy. You know I'm bad with celebrities.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
yeah.
I just made a guess at Wayne Brady, by the way, because I know he needs to work.
He does. I felt like he was on everything for a long time.
Everything, everywhere.
Everything.
Like that whole Drew Carey dynasty, he was a big part of that.
In what way?
He was like Kevin James to to Drew Carey's Adam Sandler, basically. Like everywhere that Adam Sandler goes, Kevin James is now.
But I never associate Wayne Brady with Drew Carey.
You don't like whose line is it anyway? and
That's
all
the
that
only.
other
That's the
stuff?
only one I think of.
I just
'Cause
think I
he
don't know
was-
why I associate him.
He wasn't on the Drew Carey show, was he?
don't think so.
I don't think I ever watched the show, to be honest with you.
No. I used to watch.
I remember Sometimes he was.
Sometimes he
Thank you,
was.
broadcast.
he's in the posse.
I just remember that awful woman. That's the only thing I remember at the Drew Carey show. Was there
Mimi.
I
Mimi.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all
I think you meant the
remember.
Kate, the girlfriend or whatever. She's hot. I liked her.
Tell us more.
She was hot. She was hot. Then you had an outdoor pool table. I remember that about the Drew Carey show.
And they had
And they made
had coffee beer.
Buzz beer.
Yes.
Well, didn't they change the entire premise of the show like 6 seasons in or something?
Yeah.
What was the premise? I assumed it was just some bullshit sitcom.
At first, they worked in a department store, and then they
Yes.
switched to like a .com or something, or
Right.
it was like a different, like a totally different kind of business.
That's weird.
And then they had what's his name? They had the great late night talk show.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boss. He was the boss.
What the hell's his name? What's his name?
Craig Ferguson.
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 Yeah, he was the boss. He was Mr. Witt. Is that right? How do I know so much about the show? I never watched it.
He was an employee for Cleveland's Winford Louder department store, which became an internet shopping site. So yeah, they transitioned to like a .com.
As one does. You got to stay with the times. But man, I love Craig Ferguson. I was really sorry when he wasn't doing the late night stuff anymore. I was hoping he was going to get the Letterman slot when Letterman
He's
left.
really funny.
Although Stephen Colbert apparently has really come on strong now that Trump is president. He completely flipped.
Yeah, after he legitimized it,
Yeah, well, no, they're talking about Jimmy Fallon.
they both did.
You think Colbert did as
Oh,
well?
absolutely, absolutely.
They
I think
normalized
right
him?
around the same time, Trump went on to do an interview with Colbert, and there was no hard-hitting questions. It was all softball, fluff piece bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that. Awful.
Yeah, but do you think there's a difference between a candidate and a president? I mean, do you think you should treat those two people differently?
No,
No?
I mean, obviously, whatever a president has to say has much more weight to it, and you're going to be. I think you'd be asking a different class of question. But if someone is in the running, you want to make sure that you give them real questions. Like even back years ago, like what was it? Was it boxers or briefs? Someone got asked that. Was it Bush? The first Bush?
I think maybe Gore. Yeah.
Was it Clinton? Yeah, like
Boxers and
who
briefs?
cares about that shit? That's all like softball fluff bullshit. Ask some real questions.
Yeah.
But he plays saxophone and it's so cool.
You would eat McDonald's while jogging. Yeah, I remember
Yeah, he would
that.
jog to McDonald's. I remember that so well, that he would do that stuff. But I don't know. It seems to me that if you're interviewing a candidate, you have a greater ability to influence that, you know, because people are making a decision about that person. With the president, you're just making a criticism on the party in power or the person in power. Seems a little different to me. I don't know why. Not that excuses, you know, Jimmy Fallon ruffling Donald Trump's hair. That was just like, even when I saw that, I thought, man, you're not going to want that image around.
No,
for very
it's still
long.
around.
It is. It still is. Yeah. It's like that Beyonce photo that she tried to scrub from the internet.
Oh, that's just the best picture, though.
It is the best
It's
picture.
really great. Just embrace it. Own that shit.
That's like the worst thing you can do is try to remove something from the internet. The
Yeah,
internet
yeah.
does not forget. If you put it on the internet, it's there
Yeah.
forever.
It's
What
out
is
there.
that
You go.
called?
Oh well. Yep.
What is that called?
There's a
What's one
term for
called?
that?
There is a term for that. When you try to suppress something and it becomes bigger,
I don't know.
it is called the Streisand effect.
Barbara
She
Streisand tried to
Streisand-
delete her house from the internet.
She tried to sue people who were putting images of her house up or selling images of her house.
Okay, that
and
makes
then
more sense to me.
Everyone went nuts, and like everyone then knew where Barbara Streisand's house was because everyone reported on it.
Huh.
So the Streisand effect is what that's called.
It will be her legacy.
Yeah, let me read this thing right here.
Why don't you read that thing right there?
Want to remind
Solid
everyone,
segue,
this,
by the way.
this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Black Tux. That's why I'm wearing a tuxedo. They even send you shoes.
Wow.
You're snazzy.
I forgot to bring my dress shoes this morning. I was like, oh wait, there's already shoes in there, and socks. Yeah, this is all from them.
You look like
They also have a bow tie, but I didn't put it on. I'm sorry.
you look like if MI6 like couldn't get James Bond for a weekend and they just sent you instead to see if you could maybe spy on somebody. I mean that in a good way.
Thank you. That did not sound insulting at all.
Yeah, you may not be able to catch the perp, but like you'll see him.
I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the guy.
He's over there.
He looked like a guy.
I'll get the police.
So Susan Motel Cowboy on Twitter,
She's been putting a lot of great info on Twitter. Thank
she
you.
put up all these single letter stock ticker symbols, and I'm just gonna read the ones you would know.
Okay.
C is Citigroup. It was formerly Chrysler. I don't know how Chrysler lost their symbol. F is
probably
Ford.
delisted.
What?
Probably delisted.
Chrysler?
They merged with Fiat, or Fiat acquired them.
And so they just lose it at that point in time.
Right. Like, well, first they
Okay.
merged with Daimler Benz, and then with Fiat. So yeah, I assume they're gone.
And but that's the kind of thing you think they would keep. Like when Nations Bank merged with Bank of America was much smaller than Nations Bank, but the name was way better. So Nations Bank became Bank of America. It's just another asset like anything else. I'm assuming it's stock ticker symbol.
They might not be traded on the American market anymore, though,
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
those are foreign corporations.
Fair play.
This is
Okay.
weird. Wait, what the fuck happened to Singular Wireless? Who got them?
They became.
They became Southwestern Bell, I
There's a
believe.
lot
That
of-
was, that
Oh
was,
right, Singular eventually became AT&T. Yeah, it was Southwestern Bell then
and
AT&T.
AT&T.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
As all that stuff has gone back together.
Poor orange dude.
K is Kellogg. A bunch of them are not anything anymore. Like G used to be Gillette, but now it's nothing. Explain that one, Gus.
People stop
Who
shooting.
knows?
Quest Communications is Q. That's pretty impressive. That seems like a relatively new company. T, of course, is AT&T. V is Visa. And then the other ones are one I wouldn't know. Oh, S is Sprint.
Yeah, I think I said X was Exxon, but it's actually like American Steel. Or
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
United States Steel.
Huh.
Badasses. They got X. Where do you work? I work at United States Steel. That's like just such a badass dude.
That's a pretty cool.
that works there.
What do you do?
Security.
I shut down a lot of factories these days. That's what I do.
Chris, I need to ask you where
Right now, I'm learning Chinese. That's what I'm doing.
where did you get your beautiful shirt?
Oh, the sloth shirt.
the sloth.
You love sloths.
I think this was a gift from Aaron. Or
It's
like,
beautiful.
Why is Aaron giving you gifts?
it was like a birthday gift or something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was like,
It's their anniversary.
yeah, it's a cool shirt. I
He's
like
got
sloth.
for those of you who can't see it on the audio podcast.
Oh, right.
Chris is wearing a Hindenburg disaster shirt, and there's a sloth hanging on the blimp.
I want you to imagine how many years it's going to take. How many years do you think it will take for someone to make a World Trade Center with a giant sloth on it?
I know, right? That's just like
I mean,
it's
I
all
know that's
coming
already
down.
out there, but until it's
You wear it
okay
on
for
a
people to
podcast.
wear on a live podcast.
It really is true. Tragedy over time.
is comedy.
I guess so.
Yep.
I mean, I really.
I had
it's
never
crazy.
thought about that a lot of people died.
You never
Yeah.
thought about that?
Yeah.
Well, it's,
The word disaster I thought was a pretty big clue.
Yeah. Oh, the humanity. That whole thing.
yeah.
But hey, no, your sloth's cute though. No, that's cool.
I like cute animals. I'm really considering getting a pig.
Really?
Wait, wait. Like for like owning? And you'd be its little pig master?
I didn't think of it.
master.
I wouldn't
Whoa.
phrase it like
Owner.
that, but yeah.
I don't know. It
Pig
sounded very
master.
interesting.
It's not. I don't know. The phrase "master" seems sexual in some way.
Oh, what? No. You tell me the master sword's like a weird, sexy object?
It
no,
is.
I think it's more like this.
Goddamn right
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
But no. There's this. There's an Instagram account called My Best Friend Hank. It's this
okay.
miniature pig, and I was like messaging with them over
You were talking to a pig on the internet.
Well, it was the owner.
The pig master.
Well, yeah,
the
because
pig master, gotcha.
it's and it's not from the perspective of the pig. It's like this is my best friend Hank the pig,
Okay.
and he was telling me like he gave me the info for his breeder and all this. It's really I think I need a pig.
Okay.
Dude, I wish I had not looked at this Instagram account.
Do you want a pig now?
I want a pig.
Fuck off with that. No.
Just look at that. Now you want a pig.
No, I mean, no, I want to like, no. I would be like that pig's uncle. I don't want to fucking take care of it all the
Look at
time.
that
As soon as it
little fucker.
shits, I'm going to hand it back to Chris.
I would
Look
eat
at
a
him. He's
pig.
on Easter. He's got bunny ears on. Look at that.
God, no.
It's really cute. It's and
you are a 7-year-old girl right now, Bernie. No. Why?
I mean, I just started my Instagram account, but it bugs me that it's got more Twitter followers than me, or Instagram followers than me. This fucking pig. That bothers me.
Okay.
You know, there was a period in time in my house when our cat had more Twitter followers than Ashley, and it was this unspoken thing for a while until she passed Joe the cat in Twitter followers.
All right.
Now she destroys them. I want a pig. I'm
Look.
with you, Chris.
Okay.
Chris, I'm with you.
I'm down.
It's too much.
Bernie could own a pig. Bernie's got the. Okay, that's fucking cute. Bernie could own a pig. He's a mature, responsible
Oh,
adult.
that's a good one.
How dare you?
And he's got like
you have a
house and
yard
shit.
and stuff.
What do you have? Aren't you in an apartment still?
Yeah, well, so I'm like on the 3rd floor. So I don't know if pigs can climb stairs. Like, miniature pigs, can they climb stairs?
You're the pig master.
Adorably.
You get to do whatever you want to.
Sure
But-
they can.
And I was like, oh man, I have like a maybe I'd like have an extra bedroom with the pig fence sty thing. I don't know.
I don't think you make a sty in your apartment. I don't think that's the way that
You
works.
could,
I
you
don't
could do
wanna-
the Brandon thing and put it on your balcony. And you could import
I don't.
mud from California or whatever the fuck.
Wait,
you
what's
got.
the Brandon thing? What did Brandon have a
Brandon's
pig?
like
He
buying
buys grass
and-
from California to put on his balcony so his dogs can go to the bathroom.
What?
What?
I'm not gonna do all that. But
Look,
I
I don't, Christopher. I don't want to discourage you from owning a pig if that's your
Then-
dream.
Don't
But
let it go.
There's always a
are you going to be a responsible pig dad?
of course,
Pig master.
No, I'm changing it. Keep it with the times. Can you be a pig dad though? Is my question. to you.
Yeah, man, of course, man. That's why I'm hesitant because I'm like, well, it's a big responsibility.
All right.
How many drinks have you guys had?
Not enough. We're getting there
It's
though.
such a heartfelt conversation about raising this pig.
Look, I don't know shit about stocks, but I know if someone could be a good pig dad. I think you could. I just think you just got to be ready.
You know if someone could be a good pig dad?
Yeah.
You don't know if someone could about
Chris
anything
can
about
absolutely be. Look,
I
at,
really
he's
would.
wearing a sloth shirt. He's got the heart for it. Like
I really
look at
do.
that smile.
He's not smiling.
He knows
But
how to love.
My only worry is like they're very social creatures, and I worry might have to get 2 pigs or like a dog to go with.
You can't socialize with it?
Is it a herd of pigs when you have a bunch of pigs? What's that called?
Yeah.
strip of bacon.
It's called a Grand Slam. I don't know. I don't know what a group of pigs is called.
A group of young pigs is called a drift, drove, or litter.
Litter makes sense.
Groups of older pigs are called a sounder of swine, a team or passel of hogs, or a singular of boars.
Sounder of swine sounds like something you would say to some sort of like pig-based superhero. The sounder of
No, it's like-
swine.
it's like-
pig dad.
It's like an old insult from the 40s. You low down, dirty sounder of swine.
Bugs Bunny would mutter that at someone, and it would be hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, at what point in history was it really important to know what the different groups of animals are called?
Also, on age is the weird thing. That's what is that a thing with a lot of animals? Like
I don't know if they age out of their plural form.
Age out of a plural form? What does that mean?
Well,
No,
it's
that's
like
what you're
because there's young pigs are one word, and then the older ones are sounders.
Oh, I got you. When they changed the groups, yeah. Sounder of swine. Yeah, he's right.
It's the Seattle soccer team, right?
Seattle Sounders. Yup.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking pigs.
Let's root for the Sounders.
Again, according to Motel Cowboy, pigs do not climb or jump in the wild, so they aren't meant to climb stairs. It's very easy to teach a mini pig to use a ramp when they're young. However, with treats, adult pigs can learn to use the ramp without much trouble as well.
I don't have a ramp. I get an elevator.
You give me a treat, I'll learn. I'll use that. Pigs are smart animals.
My last message to him.
Well, you're DMing him?
All right, these
Yeah.
are his DMs with my best friend Hank. Sorry, couple other questions.
God.
Is he messy? Require a lot of cleanup with poop and food?
Poop and food.
Also, does he cuddle, sleep in your bed, or have his own bed?
Please, Miles, tell me what time that was sent.
That was sent at 10 in the morning. What's wrong? You woke up and you're like, Hank, I gotta know. Did
Like
you dream of him?
You were feeling lonely in your bed. You're like, I wish I had a pig to cuddle with.
I was
right
already
now."
at work at that.
exactly what
I was already at work at that point.
I just imagine Chris, he wakes up, it's like 8:45, and he's like, laying in bed. He's like, I'm gonna message him, but I'm gonna wait. I don't want to seem needy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so cute. He's the first one you think of when you wake up.
You up?
See how Hank?
10 a.m. 10 a.m. You're messaging this big Instagram account. Asking for life advice. What's wrong with you? What was it? The weekend? What day was that you're messaging?
That was today. That was today.
Well,
you're
I
at work.
had I had a conversation with him this weekend, and that was my while it was follow-up question.
Chris manages a lot of different projects. I'm sure somebody was like, Chris got a question. Like, hold on.
Okay.
Dirt or other stuff.
If you had the ability to own any animal, and it would be unbelievably loyal and faithful, what animal?
Probably sloth or
Nice.
quokka.
Or what?
Quokka
Quokkas
What is
are
a
cool.
whoa? What's a quokka?
from Australia, dude.
The
Yeah,
little-
that didn't answer the fucking
little
question. You
cute
just told me where it
animal.
lives.
You know, Chris took a very popular selfie with a quokka.
It's like the cute little. It's like okay. If you took a kangaroo and shrunk it down to a mouth. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It's like a big mouse that smiles.
And is fat.
That's it. We
Oh,
have,
it's like
we have a picture up.
It's like a mouse got combined with a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Like not an actual bear, a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that fucking picture.
It's a good
Oh, Chris.
picture. Send that to
Fuck pigs.
I'll
Get the
send it.
quokka, yeah. Oh, that's a good answer. What's the lifespan on those guys though?
I don't know.
I like cats. I'm totally fine with cats.
Out of any animal in the world,
Man,
not even a big cat. You
let
wouldn't
me
want like
think
a
of this.
cheetah.
Could you get like
I'm not gonna make the easy puma joke.
Like
Too
a
late.
friend. Like it's a friendly, nice animal.
It'll do whatever. It's like the most loyal dog you've ever owned.
quokka 5 to 10 years?
That's silverback gorilla. I mean, that's,
Oh, that'd be
That's
so
a
cool.
good one.
That- I
That's
mean-
a fucking good one, dude.
Uber would never pick us up. They would. Look at that thing. That's awesome.
No, that's what you do. No, you hail the Uber with the like silverback hanging around behind the
Silverback
corner,
does not
and you
fit
get
in the back
no.
of
But
like
here's
a
the thing, though.
Hyundai.
They'll make it fit. No, you
Good.
make sure you only get convertibles or Uber XL.
Get, like the Uber XL. You're fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you put the seat down?
But be cool. use
Gorilla
Lyft.
just rip them out.
No shit, dude. I would do that. Nobody would fuck with you. You're walking around with a silverback.
Absolutely
gorilla.
not.
Those things are awesome.
You could ride him too. Fuck that. He'll carry you.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, so would you be the master then at that point, or?
It's a mentality thing. So yeah, no, I think Bernie
What?
could still be the master of the silverback gorilla. Just roll with it, man.
No, we're friends. We're just hanging out.
It's loyal.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Friends carry friends. You know,
I give them
got too much
the
to drink.
I give them the termites that they eat. What are they? I don't know what they eat.
No, yeah, termites.
Leaves and termites.
Yeah.
Here, have some
Fucking-
termites.
Yeah.
you
be like,
you gotta keep like
"Sweet."
termites in your pocket all the time.
How would you name him?
What's that?
Well, you gotta come up with names.
I even tell me his name. I'm not gonna name a gorilla. He's got his. He comes with his own.
His name is.
Yeah, exactly.
But you wouldn't question it though.
Yeah.
Like, all right, nice to meet you.
For a long time on the podcast, was a running joke that I felt like I could fight any animal and,
Oh, I remember
and
that.
survive. I'm not gonna win. Like I'm not saying I could kill a bear or a grizzly bear, but I could fight a grizzly bear and I'd survive. Fuck it. What
does that
the
mean?
The one that gets close to the edge though for me is a silverback gorilla. Like that's
That's where you draw the line.
that fight is over in about 0.25 seconds.
Yeah, there's not much that I could do to a silverback.
You could get its
gorilla.
eyes.
No.
Yeah, see, I'm like Chris. You follow my logic.
It's gonna rip
No.
your face off
I go like this.
before you even get to that.
That's like being in a fight and being like, when that guy goes to punch me though, I'm gonna duck. He'll never see it coming. You're not. No, it's gonna fuck your shit, dude.
Then you wake up in the hospital. That
Yeah.
kind of
No,
thing?
you don't wake up from that ever. You never wake
No,
up
from the
from
silverback gorilla, you don't wake up.
Sometimes people get their faces ripped off.
Yes, or their genitals ripped off.
No.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That's that they do that.
That happened to a dude. He was like went to go visit a friend who had like a private zoo, and he had a clutch of baboons.
Is that what
Is that
it's
a clutch?
called?
Can we
I
look
don't
it
know.
up, Gus, please?
What's a group of baboons called?
Group of baboons.
And I think
A
they were
gang of
I think they were
gorillas.
baboons, and they ripped his face off and tore off his genitals.
Can you?
A
The
Congress.
two most important things.
It was an act of Congress that removed that man's genitals.
What happened? Well, I was walking down a path, and Congress showed up and tore my dick off.
His face and his dick.
Yeah, right.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I would like.
At that point, you got nothing. Like,
I
if
might-
you're ugly,
I
you
know-
can still be like hung like a horse. At least you got that going for you.
Did they reattach?
I don't know, Chris. I don't know what to tell you.
That's why I'm getting a pig.
It was a tragedy. Pig will never do that to you.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Ocarina Springs before it closed?
No.
Wait, it closed?
Didn't it close? Oh,
The
I guess-
circus closed.
Yeah, they
yeah, yeah.
reopened. But they used to have a swimming pig,
Yeah.
and you could go.
Wilbur.
And, huh?
Nope.
What was it called? No, it was
Ralph, the
Ralph,
swimming
the
pig.
swimming pig.
Oh.
They'd have to like it was
Filmed
always
piranha there.
a young pig because older pigs can't swim. because they get so fat that their hooves start cutting themselves when they try to paddle.
Oh, that makes me
Aw.
sad.
No, it's fine.
Why? Because don't make it swim.
Yeah, they just don't let it swim.
Yeah, but that means that one had to find out.
No,
One had
that's
to hurt
true.
itself to find out.
You know, there's a documentary about Ralph the Swimming Pig.
Get the fuck out.
This is the kind of shit people would show up and give money to get tickets to go see this.
This is before the internet.
I mean,
Yeah, man. It was the America's Funniest Home Videos of live entertainment.
people were so fucking bored, dude, without the internet. They were so bored. You know how much time there is in a day? There's so much time. You just run out of shit to do with no internet. Now it's like every 5 seconds you're like, Twitter.
There's not enough time.
You go in that little loop between Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat.
Oh, it's horrifying.
And you just keep going back, keep going back, keep going back.
I,
We didn't have that.
I got to go scuba diving in that area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got scuba
I didn't realize
certified.
there was scuba diving in San Marcos.
So Ocarina Springs, it got closed down because this could be one of the reasons it got closed down. But
He had
the
his
circle,
4-foot certification.
the circus got closed down. They discovered a bunch of endangered species that were. There's this endangered. No, hear me out. There's this endangered species of salamander that lives down underground that the spring would shoot up into like the Ocarina Springs general area, and they're like, oh fuck, we can't kill these things. They're blind and could die easily. So, and I also don't know. Maybe when the internet showed up, people just weren't into Ralph anymore. But no, the circus shut down. But they keep that area roped off and open for divers. And that was where when I got certified, I got to do a dive. It's freaky, man, because it's like I know it's all fake, but there's like a giant clam and a sunken ship, and I don't know, man. It ooged me out. It was really cool though.
So I didn't know you were certified in scuba diving.
I want to get recertified because I don't remember shit other than don't go up too fast or your head will explode.
Yeah,
But,
we know somebody. I don't know if I should say since it's a medical thing, but we know somebody who got the bends,
Oof.
and that's she came up too quickly. Actually, she was brought. I'm telling somebody else's story, but she was brought up too quickly. She was part of a rescue exercise, and the bends is when the pressure gets relieved too quickly, and believe nitrogen bubbles up in your bloodstream, and it hurts like hell. It's
called the
bends,
you can
bend
die
over.
from
might
it.
fuck this up.
Yeah.
It's when nitrogen it gets like pressure. The pressure allows it to be able to get up into your brain.
Yes.
And then as you start to ascend, if you ascend too quickly, it's going to essentially take up more space, I guess, and not be able. If you go up slowly, it'll slowly start to go back down and then fill back out to its normal capacity. God, I'm using words poorly. But yeah, if you go up too quickly, it's just going to expand in your brain and it can really fuck you up. I think they discovered it while building some sort of underwater tunnel or something somewhere. And divers were coming up from their lunch, or not divers, but workers were coming up for their lunch break and just not being great.
Yep.
And they're like, I wonder if there's a connection here.
Pressure's a weird thing. We've talked on the podcast before about pressure
Delta P?
accidents, Delta P accidents. Yeah.
I think what you're talking about is actually really interesting. Like, I heard about this also. I think I saw something about the building of the Brooklyn Bridge. And I used to always wonder, like, you look at an old bridge like that, like, how did they connect the structure of the bridge to the riverbed?
I always wonder that.
And what they would do is they'd put down, like, a giant bell or a big structure, and then shoot compressed air into it to make it really high pressure so that all the water gets jettisoned out. Then
Okay.
the workers would go down and work in there.
Really?
And then I think that's what you're talking about. It was really high pressure in there at the bottom because of all the air being pumped in.
Everything.
That when they'd have to slowly leave, otherwise they would get the bends coming out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a lot of that stuff wrong. So just let us know politely in the comments.
Hashtag RT Podcast for all the first members out there watching live.
Yup.
Wink. Speaking of training exercises gone wrong,
Fucking what a segue.
did you see that headline about that Florida police officer who shot a woman by
A
accident?
librarian.
I did
a
see that. I
retired
did see that.
librarian.
They were doing some gun safety exercise,
Hmm.
and he shot her with a gun. He killed her.
And they said,
No, she died?
yeah, she died.
Oh my
they said
God.
he didn't have blanks loaded in the gun. He had live ammunition. It's like, what safety course are you taking a real gun and firing blanks at someone?
You're not supposed to fire blanks at a person anyway. 'cause
Period.
that'll
Fuck you up.
Right.
Period.
There's like so many things
I
that
don't
go
know-
wrong to get to that point.
And I can't get to the bottom of these articles. Is what's the fucking best case scenario here? That a cop is firing blanks at people? That's not supposed to happen ever.
He brought his personal weapon in for that exercise, and that's what it was. And we were like, even when you're on set with a fake prop gun,
Yeah.
there's like security and protocols for that.
Yes.
Where you show that it's a prop. You're like, look, it is empty. It is a prop. It is a toy. This is it. This is the gun we are using. We
Even
are
if it's
gonna
like
film now.
rubber.
Right.
When we did the live action Red versus Blue thing on the set of Forward Unto Dawn, we were super excited because they had like the Halo pistol, the Halo assault rifle. That prop master was like, pretend this is a fucking gun. No, you don't get to touch it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yep.
That shit. I mean, for good reason. Guns scare the shit out of me. I don't like. I don't know. I've gone. I
agree.
went hunting with my dad. I've been to shooting ranges. I don't want that kind of responsibility in my hands
I don't-
at all.
I don't like guns.
Ugh.
I like swords and like
Yeah.
I like swords.
And
People like
pigs.
swords.
I always do that in a scene when I have a scene with somebody and I have a rubber gun and they hand it to me. I always walk up to the person I'm going to be pointing it at and say, "Here, do you want to look at it?"
That's really cool.
That's
And they-
smart.
they look it
That's-
over and everything.
That's not. That's.
I mean, it's like that's what it's accidents, you know.
Yeah.
And it seems like every so often there's somebody who doesn't realize that a blank is a very dangerous thing too, and it's always somebody who like puts it in their head and goes, "Hey, check this out!" Bang, and then,
then,
that,
yeah.
Yeah.
was it a TV show? Airwolf was Airwolf. What was the show where the lead actor on it shot himself in the head
Oh, right. No, I don't think it was Airwolf.
with a no, it wasn't Airwolf. Patrick, is Patrick here? Does he remember? I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember either. Patrick doesn't remember, but it's lead actor shoots.
I mean, that's how
That's a dark
Brandon
Google
Lee died,
search.
right? The
Brandon Lee died in a, I think in a,
he was shot with a blank at close range.
Ugh.
No,
Yeah.
what happened was I think there was a. Is he the guy from the
The Crow.
Yeah.
he
There
shot
was-
himself in the CBS television series Cover Up.
Mm.
So
on there was like a blank and a bullet or something, and they got like it shot the shrapnel out or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
no, bad.
the Brandon Lee thing, as I understand it, they had guns that would fire blanks,
yeah.
and there was a misfire, or they used live ammunition on it earlier in the day, and there was a misfire, and the bullet lodged in the barrel. So the next time a blank came in, it was loaded properly, but it had it had a bullet in the or some kind of debris in the barrel of the gun from a misfire previous. When the next thing fired, it fired that out, and that's what hit him.
That's some fucking
Yeah.
Hitman blood money shit. Jesus
Yeah, dude,
Christ,
that's
dude.
that's
God damn.
unbelievably unfortunate.
Do you have like a weapon at your house?
I do.
I have the
I live
master
in
sword.
Texas. So, yeah. I have weapons. Gus is probably like,
Absolutely.
yeah, Gus is loaded.
For everybody listening, I have active landmines around my perimeters at all times.
No, no,
Claymores.
seriously. It's, it's, I think in Texas, it just seems normal to have a weapon.
I feel well now. I feel like I should.
I don't have a. I
Only
know a bunch of
if
people
you're
do.
comfortable with it,
Yeah,
and
no.
you've gone through appropriate
Yeah.
training
Well,
to
of
have
course,
it.
I've
of
got.
course.
I got swords and a baseball
That's what.
bat.
That's what I got. I got like a sword.
I've got a sword and a baseball bat.
I
Yeah,
knew
The sword I got because I just thought it was cool.
I
The
knew
baseball
someone
bat.
who would carry around a baseball bat in his trunk, but he said that if he carried just the bat, he thought if the police ever pulled him over, that it would look suspicious, like he was carrying just a weapon around.
yeah.
Did he carry a glove and a ball?
He carried like a bag full of baseball equipment with
He
the bat.
kept a little league kid stuffed in the trunk.
the bat was always like readily available in his trunk, and all the other shit was
Wow.
in there too. That way, it just looked like
Yeah,
he was gonna go play baseball or softball or whatever.
I got creeped out the other night, so I like put my sword by my bed.
Okay.
Don't buy a gun.
No, wait. Okay.
Don't buy a gun.
Don't.
Don't buy a gun.
What creeped you out to the point where you felt like you needed to
don't know.
arm yourself with medieval weaponry?
I just you
Gus,
know,
can I ask you a question? Do you ever do drills where you see how fast you can get to your gun?
No,
You never do that?
No.
That seems like something you would do.
I would not do that.
Do you do that?
I'm not gonna handle it unnecessarily.
I don't
I
no,
get
I don't
that.
do that. I don't do that.
Yeah.
No. I think the last time I handled the gun was showed it to the kids and talked to them about it, talked about gun safety, and then racked it. And that scared the shit out of them. Just that noise of it racking.
It's scary.
scared the shit out of them. So
My father was in law enforcement, so he started like getting me acclimated to firearms at a really young age.
right.
I think I fired my first gun with his help, obviously, when I was 5. And I was given my first gun as a present on my 9th birthday.
Whoa.
But he always demystified guns for me. It was always
That's what I tried
available. And he said, if you ever want to see them or you ever want to look at them or touch them, let me know.
Right.
Because I could always do it with him. And so it was, and he would take me out regularly
That's
to
cool.
shoot and train me and teach me about the proper way to use firearms so that it was never like a mysterious thing I would do behind his back or,
Yeah.
try to do it in an unsafe way.
That's
Yep.
cool.
Because if kids are curious, they'll go look for it, and that's when trouble happens.
Yeah.
Or when you try to defend your home with a
Yeah.
sword.
I think stuff like
well, to be fair, it's
Like when the robber
It's a
goes home,
replica of
and his wife's
Sting.
like, "How was your day, honey?" It's like,
So it's
I
also-
shot a dude with a sword today.
Like there's always like this hypothetical discussion on Reddit that drives me crazy. It's always like people who sleep naked. What's your plan if someone breaks into your house? It's like I don't give a fuck if I'm naked or I'm wearing clothes and someone breaks into my house, it makes zero difference to me at
You're better
all.
off naked. You freak people out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scare tactics. You got the advantage now.
Right. It's not like wearing fucking underwear is going to protect my balls more or anything, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like a weird line of reasoning
That's
to
really
me.
weird. Even if you're unarmed, they'll see you're packing. And then
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
get the
Well,
fuck out of
me,
there.
they come in my bedroom. I'm sleeping with a shotgun and a silverback gorilla. Right next to me, so they're fucked no matter what. I'm just gonna turn around and walk out.
You never said what animal would you on?
Oh, I don't know. I'm torn. I would say silverback, but he said it. That's such a good one.
No, don't-
I think
you don't have to be like that. You
The
can
other
hear.
one I would pick would be probably like some kind of bird of prey, like a hawk. That you could tell it like, go get me some. I don't know. Go get me something from the store. Like it'll wait and then like dive in, get like corn nuts, and then fucking fly out.
No, or it brings you a chihuahua. I mean, that's
No,
what
I
happens.
said
Take the
corn
good with the
nuts.
bad.
Can you hear one of those?
You take the good with the bad. Like I like birds of prey. I think they're really cool. Like hawks, eagles, owls.
Owls are cool.
Owls are fucking
Owls are pretty
awesome.
cool.
So yeah.
Although
I
they're
would go with
weird. Have
something
you
like
seen
that.
what an owl looks like with no feathers?
Yeah.
They're weird and curvy.
Have you seen like the owl skeleton? Is that what you're
Yeah.
gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, have you seen a bear without fur? Fucking horrifying.
Oh, I saw a bear that had alopecia or something and had no fur. It's really weird. It looks like a giant.
it looks
dog
like a
hedgehog.
Fallout 3 radioactive creature.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do they call those?
yeah.
Uguay.
Uguay?
Ugui.
I think so.
I almost said Yowie. That's
No, that's
anime
totally
boy
different.
love.
So you liked the Automatron DLC for Fallout 4,
Automatron.
where you build all the robots and shit.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
See, I'm playing Far Harbor, which, by the way, sometimes I like that DLC is like enormous and expansive, and then sometimes I'm like, this is too big.
Far Harbor's pretty big.
Far Harbor's freaking huge. I'm like, enough with this quest chain. I'm done. I don't give a shit about this android anymore.
Did you finish Zero Dawn?
I saw your tweet about Zero Dawn. Everybody was going ape shit over Link, the Zelda game.
yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn is incredible.
I think
Both can be great.
I might like Zero Dawn more than Breath of the Wild.
Holy
No,
shit. I gotta play that. then.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm just saying, I feel like nobody I knew played it because everyone was playing Zelda. People should like whatever they like.
The
No,
one
yeah.
problem I have with it
Where's the
compared
thing?
to Zelda, give him the
Oh,
opener,
I got you, bud.
is,
Sorry.
I did not like going from Zelda where you can climb on anything and just traverse the map. In Zero Dawn, sometimes you'll encounter like obstacles that are like this high and you can't jump over it.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, I should be able to climb over that.
Sure.
So that's my only real complaint. I think the gameplay's amazing. I think the story is really well done. I had like this super
Story's
deep
great.
moment in the story. Like,
Damn.
Story's
where
great.
like listening, like I normally kind of half read, half listen when there's collectibles like that. I listen to everything, I read everything. And it was like a really emotional moment, like listening to like these stories and these journals. And I was like, man, this is really fucking heavy what's going on right here.
Yeah, you can go super deep in that game with the story. It's kind of like remember when Destiny came out and people said it had no story, and it was just the way you access the story was
Horrible.
a
You just have
little
to
more
read Grimoire
a little more
cards.
difficult. So it went super deep, but you just had to go find it. This has the best of both worlds. You have a really great, I think, campaign story, but then the world building stuff is presented with journals and things like that and audio logs.
I felt that way about the original Bioshock. I thought the original Bioshock had the perfect balance of story that you need to know being presented to you and additional world building stuff that you are able to find and collect through the audio logs. Fuck, it was. Oh.
I guess I will say that about Breath of the Wild is it's because it's a Zelda game. The story kind of is like I know what the story is.
Right. Still,
You
though, I
kind
mean,
of
the you're not going to get the sort of stuff that I'm assuming you're talking about, where you can find out about individual people and
Right.
exactly what happened
Yeah,
when.
because
But
because I mean, obviously, it's not a spoiler, but the game is set like in the future of Earth.
Right.
You don't know what happened to like civilization, but you're following like certain people. So you're like, oh, like that's that person's log, or oh, it's that person's story, and you kind of get attached to them. And in the end, like that was way in the past. They're all obviously long dead.
Right.
So you're just like following them, figuring
you want
out.
to know what happened to them. Did they
Right,
make
it's
it
like-
out? Did they have a good ending? Or
Right,
did it
like when
suck?
from the time they realize that everything's kind of going wrong to the time where like, that's it.
I gotta play this game.
I mean, honestly, I don't know about you, Gus, but there were times when I was playing the game and I thought, this seems like a really good Halo game. I mean, it's just the way it's presented and everything. It was just, I really enjoyed
Yeah, I
it.
could see that
Yeah,
like
no, wait,
the
what do you
colleges
mean by
almost
that?
being like forerunner
Yep,
structures where
exactly
you go
right.
in and
And
explore.
then you're investigating this long dead technology and all that, but it just went even deeper with it. No, we have a connection to the people that are the forerunners in that. It makes more sense to us, and it's a really cool connection.
And it's also weird because like when you're accessing old technology, like it'll use computer or technological terms, but they're a more primitive tribe. So like they don't understand everything. They're like,
Oh, wow.
like a computer might say like corrupted registry, repair, and the tribesperson's like, okay, I need to fix a corruption somewhere. There's like an evil that I need to fix. So it's like, going out and like kind of misconstruing words and you're reading more into stuff than really is there. It's interesting.
But I would highly recommend it. I had
They
a great
fucking knocked it out of the park.
first game, including Last of Us, which I love. It's the first PS4 game or PlayStation game that I've ever gotten a platinum in. Was Horizon.
Yeah, I
Still
think I'm
never
gonna
done that.
platinum this one. I'm absolutely, even once I'm on the last mission now. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go back.
I love the way that they
Really
have handled collectibles in recent games. It used to be way more difficult to do collectibles, like Crackdown. I look back at that.
God.
No way anybody would get 500 orbs in Crackdown. They're just not going to do it. No way. 300 green orbs and 200 hidden orbs or whatever the fuck that was.
But thank God, because otherwise we wouldn't have Michael Jones.
I know, right? Otherwise, we would never rage quit.
Fuck, that's a weird thing to think about. If they just didn't handle. Oh, that sets you down this whole weird domino.
It
rabbit
does.
hole.
Gavin
You
does
can't
this all
go-
the
You can't do
time.
that.
Gavin like tries.
Fuck.
So this is what blows my mind. Is like say, okay, if Michael never made the Crackdown video, he would have never come to work at Rooster Teeth. We wouldn't have a lot of things probably that we have today. But what makes me wonder is like, who don't we have? Who did we
Oh,
miss?
right.
Right? That would have come here, or we would have met and would have been in our lives. That
Hey, thanks to Crackdown shitty collectibles, a new human life is about to be brought into this world. That's fucking weird.
it's weird to think about that.
Ugh. Oh, that's some. This is heavy shit.
I love to be a wingman, so it's always like I think about that when people get married. That I know that I introduced them, and then they have a kid. It's like, yeah, that kid owes me like 10% of their lifetime income.
Isn't that in like? Wasn't that on the website at some point? Like, was one of the
If
rules?
community members have children, we get 10% of that kid's income lifetime.
You agreed to it, and it's in the fucking
in there.
fine print.
Yeah.
It was.
agreed to
I
the
don't
terms
know
of
if that
service.
survived. That might be one of the things that Full Screen Legal pulled out. When they ditched that on
Wah,
us.
wah.
But
Hey,
it's
let-
weird because we ran into that all the time, like at conventions where people
That
had
was
met.
That was really weird the first few times that we encountered that. We'd be like, oh, we met, we're dating. Then you'd see him like the next year at, a Comic-Con or whatever. Oh, we're married. Here's our kid.
Here's our
Like,
kid.
What?
I feel like I'm just now at the place in my life where the idea of making a person is hitting me.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't.
no! Hold on.
I'm not saying I don't want to have. I'm not.
Get a pig.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing. I was just looking at like Lindsay posting like progress
Chris,
photos.
who is the lucky lady? Who will you be knocking up? Do we know her?
my best friend Hank?
That's how you become the pig master.
Oh, God.
But it's just a weird thing. It's like I don't know, like a parasite that's growing, and I don't know. It creeps me
No,
out. But
please
it's,
continue to
Parasite. Go ahead.
it is. That's
It
what
is- no,
it is.
it's-
Yeah, I'd
It
agree with
is.
that.
It is. And it's like a little thing that gets planted inside of you, and it grows and takes up your
It's like aliens.
food. Yeah,
It
and
is.
then it bursts out of you
Mm-hmm.
like aliens.
Yeah.
Except for it doesn't come out the stomach. It comes out like it's just as gross.
He won't even say it. He won't even say it. You cannot have a kid. He can't say
Miracle
it.
of life, and he can't say the words.
Vagina.
There you go,
brother. Congrats, dude.
You can get a pig now, Chris. That was the test.
You don't go in through the stomach to make it either, just so you know. Just in case that comes up later.
Not for lack of trying.
So you want to have a kid now?
No.
But you're thinking about it. You're making the turn.
It's finally on the radar somewhere.
You're making the turn. How old are you now? May I ask?
I'm 30.
So you're 30.
You're 30?
That seems like a time to think
that's
about it.
weird.
Miles turned 27 today, Gus.
Wow. You're so old now.
I think that was the age you were when we started Rooster Teeth,
I was
right?
25.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Gus
I
always
was
seemed
2
like the
years younger than
baby
you.
of the group.
Yeah.
How old are you now? Can I ask how old you are?
39.
You just turned 39.
Yeah.
When
No
you
wonder we
turn
get
40,
along
it's going to be a
so
fucking
Yeah.
nightmare.
What?
When you turn 40 next year, it's going to be a nightmare.
Why?
I don't know. First of all, Gavin will do what he did to me. Was he called me on the phone and he said, I can't be friends with you anymore. He actually made that phone call on my birthday. Said, I can't be friends with a 40-year-old person. I just can't do that.
It's all numbers. It's all the same. It's all relative.
Yeah. That's also how you act. You don't act like a 30-year-old. And I mean that as a good thing.
Yeah, you're wearing a shirt with a disaster.
Hey, people
you didn't
died in
think about,
that.
and a sloth hugging it. It was 36 people, by the way. I looked it up.
That's not that bad. I mean, in the big scheme of things, like 30. That's yeah.
It was 35 on the Zeppelin and one
On the
on
ground.
the
One
ground.
guy going, fuck, that looks rad. And then got crushed.
Was it hydrogen?
Yeah.
Good Lord. How did they think that was not going to go wrong? What ignited it?
I don't know.
I mean, it's anything like when it's
I
just
mean,
a
you're
big
right.
bomb.
Anything. Yeah.
Static.
Give
It
me
might have
the
been
opener.
static or something.
I bet it was static.
Somebody didn't
Oh,
turn off their
sorry.
cell phone
That's why you got to turn off your cell phone on
Airplane
planes
mode.
now.
in 1908 or
Let me
whatever it
read
was.
this here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by.
I gotta say, this is not an extra bonus ad thing, but I started doing Blue Apron. I fucking love it.
Awesome.
I used to cook all the time. I only know how to cook horribly unhealthy things, though. Delicious, bad for you. So the thing I love most about it is that I'm trying things that I never would have tried. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, cod and potato stew. That sounds shitty, but I guess I'm eating it this week. It's my new favorite thing. It's awesome.
I discovered one of my favorite ingredients to eat because of Blue Apron.
Hold
I
on,
had-
is it hoisin sauce?
No.
okay.
It was celeriac, celery root.
Ah.
It's like I did something once where they sent me some celeriac. I was like, what the fuck is this? You have to dice it up into little matchsticks and pickle it. I was
Alright.
like, this shit's delicious. Anytime I see it now, I always buy it. I'll always eat any dish I see it on the menu if it's got celery root.
I feel like I didn't eat cilantro until I was 25, and I fucking love cilantro.
I love
Cilantro's so
any.
good.
Man.
But there are
Is
people
it-
who hate cilantro.
is
There's
it-
people right now watching the podcast who are like, I hate everyone on that podcast. Cilantro's the worst.
That's what is it? The
It's a
urban.
genetic thing where it's like 10% or 20% of the population. It tastes like soap, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, stupid.
One of the reasons I bring this up is because, Chris, you've been doing some cooking lately.
I cook sometimes.
Yeah, what you Snapchatted about something that you cooked.
I cooked egg and bean.
Oh God, I saw that.
Egg and bean.
I remember. I saw the initial tweet.
I love
or
eating
picture
bean.
of
Did you
just
see the
like
photos of
egg,
it?
of egg and
Yes.
bean on it. I was like, oh, that actually. Look, I know it looks sad, but I'm sure it tastes good. But then I saw the end result, and it just looked like shit.
So I was like, I'm gonna make an omelet type thing. So I cracked some eggs and I was like kind of stirring it around. I'm like, oh, I should put beans in it.
Of course.
So I just
First off, you really go willy nilly with this thing, huh? You wait for the 30 seconds to be counting down for you to start deciding what ingredients you're gonna put in your omelet.
yeah. And
Well,
so
I
I
mean,
like
if you're
opened.
making an omelet, Miles, bean is the classic ingredient. in an omelet.
I opened
It's
a
a,
can.
a classic
like a
Denver
good-
omelet.
I opened
bean
a can
omelet.
of bean.
It's a Boston
A can of
omelet.
bean.
Yeah, no.
Can of bean.
Keep going.
Opened a can of bean and I drained. I didn't drain it enough. That was part of my problem.
Yeah, that was it. If you drained it, it'd be
And then
great.
Had he drained bean, it would have been great.
So here's the deal: is my issue was I was like, okay, I'm gonna make what do you call those things when you put hash potatoes
Hash brown?
You just said it. It's
hash brown hash? It's like a they have a 24 diner where it's like potato and it's a
just
medley.
hash.
It's a
It's
medley.
Oh, okay, hash. Yeah.
It's a medley. No,
And I
Gus,
was like,
it's a
I didn't have
medley.
potato, so I was like, I'm gonna do bean, and I dumped the bean in,
a potato-free hash.
and then there was a bunch of juice in the beans, and so I just started mixing.
with the egg.
Keep
yeah.
fast forwarding. That's not the best one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think
how it
there's a-
started. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a fine picture.
Yeah, and then I just kept stirring it. It became this it turned gray.
Yeah, it did.
But then the egg disappeared for a while, and then it reappeared.
What is that? What do you mean the egg disappeared?
I think
away.
it merged
Here-
with the
here's-
juice.
Here's a new thing we should do, Gus. We should go to a restaurant and try to order food that Chris makes at home. Like, I will have the bean omelet and the fish with ranch.
What I said after that was, Esther and I do those live streams where we eat food on the Rooster Teeth Facebook page.
How'd you get that job, by the way?
I just said I want to do it.
I want that
We
job.
started doing it. And after we saw that, I showed it to Esther. I said, Chris, we got to do an episode where you make all of the food for us, and you've got to eat the food with us. Like, I want to make sure
I
you're not
eat
making
it.
gross stuff. Right.
I eat it.
We got to do that. Chris
Yeah.
Damaris,
Ugh.
Master Chef.
I want to try Chris's fish.
It's good. I'm like,
Whoa, what's with your fish?
it's just fish.
It's just the way he makes it. There's a whole RTA
You
about
got to
it.
watch
All right.
RTAA.
Yeah.
All right.
Swordfish
Wait, no,
is
maybe
his
I have
favorite.
seen that.
Yeah.
It's like dressing. I just put dressing on it. It's
I wish I could have you explain everything to me, Chris.
no. I swear to God, that makes sense. It's like all the flavors
Yeah,
mixed
yeah.
into one.
Yeah. But when I ask how you make something, I would hope that if it involves dressing, you would tell me what kind of dressing and perhaps how
No,
much.
that's not the point. You're me.
No.
You've
Don't
got
even
too
tell
much
me
going
what
on.
fish.
It's like you read a recipe one time that said add a pinch of salt, and you went, "Oh, I can just be vague with this shit."
No,
No.
it's like you're talking to someone who waits till the egg is on the.
You're
heat
right. No, you're
before they
right.
Start making
You're right.
an omelet.
You're right.
That RTAA is done well. It's almost at 1.4 million views.
Anything with you, any RTA with you into those fucking gold. You just have this wonderful way of speaking, Chris.
The audience did a really fun thing where they went to the only Slow-Mo Guys video that was under 1 million views. And they were watching it again and again to get it above 1 million views. It was only like 20,000 away. I think on Rooster Teeth, the only the only series that has over 1 million views for every episode, I think, is RTAA.
I think so.
Probably.
And I mean, Red versus Blue probably does, but it takes a while now for those episodes to get up to that point. The closest though is MDB. Before this season of MDB came out, every episode had 1 million views except for one. It was the Crunch Time one. It was me and Nick Rutherford and Kirk Johnson. And it's just, not traditional Rooster Teeth talent, but it was close. It was like 960 as well. So I was like, damn, it would have been great if that got to 1 million views like before the next season came out. Did you guys have you seen any MDBs yet this season?
Yeah.
The one in Australia was great. I really liked that one a lot.
that was great.
The audience came with like great suggestions.
The Velociraptor one.
The raptor legs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
That was. Blaine really embraced that one too.
It's been fun seeing like the stuff we're putting out. Like I don't know if people out there are watching the new season of Red versus Blue, but Joe Nicolosi's fucking killing it.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
the episode that just went out, episode 4, is one of my favorites. That
I haven't
we've gone
watched
through
4
together.
yet, so I'm not sure which one that is.
This might be like the best season of Red versus Blue for press coverage too in a long time.
No kidding.
People have been reporting on that
It's
nonstop.
wild.
Yeah, there was that Wired article over the weekend. I know
Yeah.
that talked about it, but yeah, it's been really good to see. Don't search me find a chorus last night. Okay. All right.
Although I got to say that Wired gave us the best headline we've ever had as a company, which was it's season 10 of Red versus Blue. Wired wrote how Rooster Teeth won the internet
Yeah.
with Red versus Blue. And I was like, that's going on the wall for sure.
Take that, the Onion.
Live
You want a
journal.
Webby? We won the internet. You can't take that away from
Suck
us.
it, Numa Numa kid.
But yeah, I liked. We did that Founders episode of MDB. That was fun.
That was a good. No, that was a
Doing,
fun one. That was a fun one.
Purple cars. It
It was fun to be in something
No
with
way.
you and Matt. That doesn't happen very often anymore.
was a cool bar where we filmed that.
Yeah. I said it was nice to work with Gus. He's like, yeah, the bar was cool.
You already said that part.
Thank you.
You already covered that.
Yeah,
I'm
clearly.
talking other stuff.
Could you say I agree?
I agree.
There you go.
Yes,
Thank
you're so good.
you. How long are we at 20 years yet?
What is this?
Me and you?
No, 19.
What are you gonna do for the big 2-0? I'm gonna go someplace
February
cute?
of next year will be 20.
What's that?
February of next year will be 20.
February 2018. Well, you and I have worked together for 20 years.
Yeah, I think like early in February, like February 2nd or 3rd.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Did you? I guess you had to work with me before you worked with Jeff.
Yes, Jeff didn't move here till January '99.
Yeah. And I worked with Matt in college and Joel. I worked with Matt a little bit before I met Joel. Joel was Matt's friend. And I'm sticking to that. But so it's been a long time. But Matt, it's been 20, a little bit longer, 23 years.
I met you before I could legally drink.
Was that true?
Yeah,
God,
I was
that's crazy.
I was 19 because I was right before my 20th birthday.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
We've had every conversation.
we're done.
By the way,
Done.
I want to address something. Occasionally, people will get upset on the podcast because we've been doing this now for how long? How many years have we been doing this? 6 years? 8 years?
9.
9 years?
This December will be 9. So yeah, a little over 8.
And people saw that video of the cow counting story that I told.
Yeah.
With the Greg Kinnear story. So even Miles like, what are you talking about?
trying to remember that.
Yeah. And I told them the same way, apparently 4 years apart. I told them the same way. I don't know about you guys, but I treat our conversations on the podcast identical to any party that I go to or a bar. I just talk about stuff.
Mhm.
And there'll be times when I'll tell a story that I know I've told before, but I'm talking to someone who's here on the podcast set and they haven't heard the story, like Jessica Negri. And I'll say, oh, does anybody know the story about when I did this? And a lot of times, even in that video that somebody cut those two stories together, that's the first thing I say in that is, did I tell the story about the time I got Greg Kinnear fired? And everybody goes, no. And I said, all right, I know I have, but I'll tell the story. But same thing with the party. It's like, I get the reaction that you're a viewer and you watch something and when somebody repeats a story, it seems weird. But if you're at a party and a friend of yours that you've known for 5 years meets somebody new and tells them a story, you don't go, hey, I know this story. Stop telling the story.
Also, I was there both times. It was still a new story to me the second
I
time.
know.
I forgot
You
already.
forget. That's the thing. It's someone's like, "Have I told the story?" And you're like, "I don't think
I don't
so." And then
know.
even as the story's being told, you're like, you don't remember every story that's told ever.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's like-
I've probably, the people were amazed I told the story so identically 4 years apart. I've probably told that story at dinners and parties probably 5,000 times now. That was when I was a junior in college, I believe,
And like
that I did that.
storytelling has an ebb and flow to it. Like when you find the way of
flow.
telling that story that works, why would you change it?
100% correct. It's like
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by stand-up comedians and when they develop material that way. Like they go out and they workshop things and they find out what works and the timing of it, and then they go on a Netflix special after they've been telling those jokes for 6 months, a year at that point.
You still got to make it look fresh
Yeah.
every time you tell that story.
Delivery is
to the audience, it is.
everything.
Yep.
Delivery is everything when you're telling someone a story face to face.
If you ever want to hear us repeat ourselves, read any fucking press interview with us. Read like 4 in a row. The press always reports on the same exact things, always, again and again and again. So that's where we repeat ourselves.
That was one of the things you told me when I started getting interviewed for stuff when Ruby started taking off. You're like, be prepared to give the same answers time and time again, because no matter how many people have heard it, there are still infinitely more that haven't yet and are going to ask the same questions.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like even here, it's like when I say the Greg Kinnear story, the cow counting story. I
I
told
was
it
like,
twice apparently, and one person hasn't heard
Well,
it.
I only saw it because I
here's
saw
what
the post. I felt that sometimes away about like when you go on dates or something where you're like you're telling
Yeah.
a story. It's like
Yeah,
you
dates,
get
I
asked
know.
the same questions or you whatever, and you end up telling the same stories.
Do you have like your 5 go-to stories in a date or so? It's like, if there's a lull, I can tell this
how about-
funny story.
How about your best?
Your
How about
best?
what's your best?
Your best? Oh, fuck.
That's
your
what.
best story on
I-
a date and there's a lull.
Oh,
I don't know.
Jesus.
I just try and keep. It's just a weird thing. It's like there's opportunity, and whenever I see an opportunity to tell a funny story, I'll jump at that.
Yeah.
But it also gets boring. So then sometimes I'm like, I'm not gonna tell that story again because I'm bored.
Yeah. And this person isn't worth my
Well, no,
hilarious
it's just like I'll
commentary.
just like more free flow
Sure.
conversation.
Yeah. You don't want it to be too structured because that's not
Yeah.
fun.
But it does feel sometimes like a comedy routine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm gonna go through this bit, and
Yeah.
I know this story works. Like it's exact same kind of ebb and flow.
Yeah. We're entertainers. I don't know. It's what we do, for better or worse. I don't know. Like,
Usually worse.
usually
I would
worse.
always be-
Probably
I
usually worse.
I would
but,
always
like,
go the other route when I was dating. I would always just try to find as much about the person that I was talking to as I could.
It's like
Oh,
a-
no,
it's
no,
like-
no,
like
yeah.
an
Well,
inter-
yeah,
like
that's
an
probably a
interview.
better tactic.
No,
than-
no,
It isn't. And it's an interview for sex.
I agree with you. Let me rephrase if maybe I misspoke. But like, if there's ever a lull in a conversation, or like you need to like pull out something to be like, please know that I'm interesting.
yeah,
can
it's
go
like
for
those
that, but-
interesting like.
Turn that lull into a lull. Right?
Oh,
Hey,
that's fucking
like-
comedy. I can't wait to hear that joke again in 4 years.
for me, dude, no, for me, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. If you're talking about something passionately, I am just enamored by whatever it is you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing more incredibly attractive to me than passion for something.
Okay. A couple Hitler videos. I
Yeah, that's
showed you.
exactly what I was going to say.
Miles like, well, he really believes in what he's saying. He's very impassioned.
What a fucking
visionary! I think you're gonna shave.
Oh man, I was totally unrelated, but I was traveling this weekend and I was staying at this hotel out in the middle of nowhere, and I saw maybe the most confusing product of my life.
Oh, go on.
So I walked in, and it's I don't know, it's kind of like maybe like an extended stay hotel. I walk in, and there's like a couch, a bed, TV, coffee maker, refrigerator, microwave.
Okay.
The microwaves brand was Microfridge.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
I was like, there it is. I was like, does this thing have like a cool setting on it? No, it's defrost and cook microfridge.
That's
Is it because here's the deal? I bet it's supposed to be attached to a fridge.
That's what people were speculating on Twitter, is that maybe it was supposed to have been a combo unit and they just removed the fridge. There was a fridge in the room. It didn't say microfridge or whatever the opposite of a fridge would be.
max oven.
Yeah.
Where's your microwave? Is it a freestanding microwave or is it in your wall?
It is in an island in the middle of the kitchen.
Okay.
Deserted.
But it's
It's like a
embedded.
cabinet, right?
Yeah. So I have that too. And when I moved into my current house, one of the first things I noticed was that there was no light in the microwave.
Mm.
And then after a few weeks, I noticed there was a light. It was burned out. I thought, I'll change the light in it. And I looked at how to do that. You had to pull the microwave out of the wall
Ah.
and like take off the molding and do all that to replace the
What?
light. And it's like, God damn it, I'm gonna do this. I did it. Like I went through all of that trouble to then just go, bink, boop, and then that was it. And then like, reassemble the wall.
That's why
That's
whoever lived there before
Never changed
dealt
it.
with a burned out. Sometimes, like, have you ever dealt with like some cars you have to replace like the turn signals or the headlights. It's like some cars, it's like, oh, I'm done in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Some cars, it's like, oh, I'm taking apart the fender.
I'm gonna
We are
sell
going
this
in-
car.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going in elbow deep to fucking replace a tiny light bulb here. Why the fuck do they make it that hard sometimes?
I remember one time on my ex-girlfriend's car in college, to replace her alternator, I had to take off 4 other belts to get to the. Like, I had to take off the AC belt, everything. It was a Pontiac. I remember very well. I had to take off all these belts just to get to the fucking alternator, and it was crazy to me. Absolutely insane.
When I when I used to own that 64 Chevy pickup that used to always make fun of, the one thing I loved about it was so basic that you could see all of the parts.
Yeah.
And you could sit in there. Like I had to replace the fuel pump at one point. I literally crawled under the hood. I sat in the engine compartment and removed the fuel pump. Like, all right, that's bad. Got a new one. Just put it on there. I don't know anything about cars. It was like, oh, I think the fuel pump's bad. Let me try replacing that. Bought one for just like a couple of bucks. Go in there, fix it. Took like 30 minutes.
O'Reilly or AutoZone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like cars were so much easier back then. You would push the accelerator, and it was just like a rod that connected up to your carburetor and opened up to let gas into
Little
the
cable.
carburetor.
Yep.
That's all it was. It was like, oh, do you want to go faster? Here, just turn this screw to let more gas in, and you could like adjust the mixture of fuel and air depending on what you wanted to do. So fucking easy, so fucking basic.
That's why I never begrudge like younger people who don't know how to work on cars because they're so different now. It's like I grew up with cars. The used cars we had when we were teenagers, those were cars from like the 70s.
Yeah.
That's that were 10 years old by the time I was driving in the late 80s and early 90s. So you could absolutely work on those all the time, and it wasn't that big a deal. You had a ratchet set, you could do everything. Now it's Jesus. See, it's damn near impossible. That's why I was so excited on The Amazing Race. One of the pit stops or detours, roadblock. It was a roadblock that we had where we had to change the oil in an Armenian taxi. I destroyed that. I destroyed it.
Nice.
And it was just like, and it's of course the older audience. I thought that would endear me to them, but they just hated all the younger people who couldn't figure out how to change the oil in a car. I did it in like 10 seconds.
Proud of you.
They actually gave me a little bit of a kind edit there because I did everything to spec, but I guess I was in a rush, so I didn't let the oil drain out completely before I put the nut back in. And when I went to fill it back up, it overfilled. So I had to get back under there and drain some of it out and then fill it back up again and keep checking the dipstick, because now I didn't have the exact amount.
Right.
So I had to go. But they kind of gave me a nice edit on that.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? I still got out there like 10 times faster than just about anybody else.
Yeah, I've been watching this season of The Amazing Race, and man, this last week someone had a fucking breakdown trying to make those ladles. God, I mean that was hard to watch.
I
It's
like the twist they did this
desperation.
season with the strangers.
Yeah,
It's led to some serious drama.
yeah, they did. No one on the race knew each other. At the first episode, they all like basically picked their partner.
Whoa.
And now they're going on the race. And so like some people, it's like, all right, like they fit really well. Some people are like, man, those two do not fit at all.
Shit.
And it's just like some people get along, some people don't. My favorite's like Ashton and Vank. They do not get along.
I follow
They're going-
him on Twitter. We follow each other on Twitter because when they announced, I went through and followed the people I thought were, I just you try to guess who's going to do well and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the epitome of two very different people who argue a lot, but then like when it comes time to like do something, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, we're going to focus or do this. All right.
That's cool.
What's his amazing quote that he had when he was navigating? He said, "Okay, this next intersection, take a 135-degree turn." What is a 135-degree turn? I think he's a financial analyst, right?
think so.
Is that what he is? So he's very analytical. And you should go on the YouTube channel. They did this for our season. I'd never seen it before. They put up so much behind the scenes stuff. I mean, they'll put up a 10-minute unedited conversation of those two. Those two working it out one time of just like, here's why I'm here. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? And they're going back and forth. I forget what the thing they were doing, but they were arguing with each other's like rationale for why they wanted to approach a situation, which happens a lot on that show. Ashley and I we would constantly like second guess ourselves and everything else. So
It's
it was so much fun doing that show, man.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. It's a fucking great show.
Yeah.
Love that show.
In case you watched Amazing Race last season, they usually do it twice a year. The show is now at the point where they do it once a year. So I was on season 28. Season 29 started airing at the end of March. And if you live in the U.S., it's on CBS, and they moved the show to Thursday nights at 10 p.m. 9 Central.
Yeah, it
10
was
p.m.
Really, really weird.
That's
to
a
see at the
tough
same
time slot. That's a really tough time slot.
Although last week they did 2 episodes. So they started at 8 last week.
I think Survivor won the week because Survivor, That show's been around forever.
I
And they
remember
did-
the first season.
Yeah.
Like, my
Yeah.
parents, we would put in a blank VHS and record it if we knew that we were going to be gone, so that we wouldn't miss it. And it was incredible. Like that was the most exciting television I remember as a kid.
I
It was pretty nuts.
When Survivor wrapped up this season, I actually went back and I rewatched the final tribal council, and when Sue tells the other one, like, if you were dying in the desert, I would not give you any water to drink.
Yeah.
Talking about rats and snakes.
Talking to Kelly.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
how fucking good that first season of Survivor was.
Snake and a rat. This
Yeah.
is the story of a snake and a rat.
Yes. So fucking good.
Yeah. Because she turned on her. Like they did
Right.
this thing for voting where they were just going to sit there forever until somebody changed their vote.
And also, like, they could not get rid of Kelly because she kept winning the immunity challenges.
Yep.
They were trying to get rid of her, but she won like the last 3 in a row. So she was just getting rid of everyone else on the way.
Yeah, that
Fucking
first season
Kelly.
of Survivor was amazing. It was, and nobody had seen anything like
Yeah.
that before.
I looked up the ratings actually at the time, and it was fucking crazy. Like, you think about television ratings nowadays, and I don't know, like, I feel like people would be happy to get like 4 million. But let me see what the ratings were here. Find ratings. There, 6-1. The first episode of Survivor got 15.5 million viewers. The finale, and it built from there. The finale got 51.69 million viewers.
But that's a
Dude.
different world back then.
Yeah. Oh,
Fucking
yeah,
different.
very
Well, that
much
was
so.
August 2000.
Does it have a share there? Does it show that there?
Let me see
What their share was?
Yeah, rating share 18 to 49 for the finale was 22.8.
That means almost 25% of all people that were watching TV watched that.
Oh my
That's you're
gosh.
not going to get that today. Like if Walking Dead gets like 8-9 million, it's enormous. You know
Good
that
Lord,
it does
man.
that. So
That's insane.
I think like
million.
I think like with the Big Bang Theory, which come on.
Hey, nerds are people.
Oh man, what a show! I think that show gets like 18-20 million viewers an
Bazinga.
episode.
And that's like the biggest rated TV or highest rated TV show, right?
Yeah.
Big Bang.
I think there was a point in my life, I forget when it was, maybe when I was doing interviews for Amazing Race, but talking to more traditional TV reporters. And they said, well, what do you guys say? We're the gamers. That's how we were like
Sure.
listed. That was our category of Ashley and I on the Amazing Race. And they go, oh, you must love the Big Bang Theory. It's like, no, no.
Have you seen the video of it's a clip of the Big Bang Theory, but with all the laugh tracks replaced with
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais?
No, no,
It's
really?
fucking great. It's just like a single. It's so fucking good.
But the guys that make that show, I think those are the guys who made 2.5 Men as well.
Yeah.
Those guys know how to make TV. I mean, they have dominated primetime television for a really long period of time. Oh Jesus.
Mm.
We're about to go down a serious fucking rabbit hole.
Oh, gee.
Here it goes. From Twitter, Vishal Patel wants to know, hey, did you guys ever watch that show The Mole?
Oh,
Here we go. Look at that.
Mole?
Listen to that noise
I
that
remember
Gus
the
just
mole.
made.
I remember the
did you
mole.
watch The Mole?
Yeah.
Did you watch The Mole?
I remember
The
it.
Mole is the greatest television
It
show
was
that has
fucking
ever
rad.
I
been
remember you
made.
It
talking
was
to me
super
about the
cool.
mole. I don't remember what you said about it.
It was like a reality show where everyone had to work together on kind of like Amazing Race. You go to like exotic locations, you have to work together to like accomplish tasks. But one of the people competing in the show was a plant from the show who was working to subvert everyone
Yeah.
and to stop them from accomplishing their goals.
And
Fucking cool.
The host of the show was a not yet famous Anderson Cooper,
Yeah.
and he was awesome.
Oh my God, that's right.
yeah.
And at the end, in order
Andy?
to avoid every week, they would eliminate the person who knew the least about the mole. So it's like they would have to take this really long quiz. Like when you were at dinner on Tuesday night, who was sitting to the mole's left? Or like, what color shirt was the mole wearing when you were taking the bus from here to there?
It was an observation thing.
Yeah, it's like holy
cool.
fuck! You have to pay attention to everything,
Fucking cool.
everything in that fucking show.
I don't remember
There it
everything
is, that's
about it, but I
Anderson
remember
Cooper.
But
fucking
I will
loving
say
it.
this.
Oh,
I will say this.
Silver Fox.
As that show got to the end, everyone knew who the mole
Yes.
was, and it was clear that everyone knew who it was, and they ostracized that person. And they didn't like in the show's editing, they didn't really hide that.
Right.
And also, it was for reality of like Survivor when they say we hate you and you're voted out,
yeah.
get out, and people understood that. People did not understand the show The Mole. It was canceled in its second season. They just stopped.
I think
showing,
they did a celebrity mole,
They
right?
stopped showing the show. Remember, they just like, oh, never mind. We're not going to show the rest of this thing,
Yeah.
and they just didn't even air the second half of the
So
season.
good. I want to go back and rewatch it because I've forgotten enough. I probably don't remember anything. I remember who the mole was at this point,
I do too.
but I'd like to go back
I remember
and
who won too.
rewatch
I
it.
know-
You're
I
making me want to go watch reality TV from 2000.
Well, with the writer's strike, get ready. There's going to be a lot more reality TV if the writer's strike goes through. That's exactly one of the reasons why reality shows took off the last time was because the big writer's strike. And here we are heading
It was
towards,
like 10 years ago?
we're heading towards one again. Yeah.
No, it was.
I mean, Survivor had already existed as a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the writer's strike, I mean, that's, you don't really have any writers.
The last one was 2009.
I think it was about 10 years. I think it was 2007.
I think it was around the.
Really?
I wanna say it was
Because
the-
I was in
Because I
college.
remember
was
it
in
was
college when
it was
happened.
during what's that superhero Heroes
Yeah, Heroes.
Yeah.
and that show
2007,
got, like,
2008.
Wow.
screwed because the first season was really good and then the second season was like
I
never watched
I was
I would
Blood
argue the
juice.
first season started great.
Yeah.
And then it ended weird.
It ended so the very end of season 1 was like, what?
Yeah. Because the whole lead up in the first, if we're talking about a show that's still like 12 years old at this point. But the whole lead in Heroes, there was this, one of the big events in it was there was this premonition of them all on a city street and there was something was about to happen and there were cars everywhere and they were all running up to each other and then slowly that event would be pieced together and they knew this event was coming, and when it happened, it didn't happen on the street exactly as they
No.
all had a premonition of. It happened in like an office courtyard.
Right.
And it made no sense. I mean, did they just run out of money, Gus? For that?
I don't know. Maybe like severe rewrites at the end.
Maybe.
I read a thing. It was an interview with, I believe it was J.J. Abrams talking about the last writer strike, about how it was right around the time they were finishing up writing the Star Trek reboot, and they had written it, they finished it, the writer strike started, but J.J. Abrams and whoever else was on that film, one of the other writers, they were also producers, so they were on that movie as producers, and they went to set to film, but they could not touch the script. They said like the actors would come up to them with like suggestions for better lines, and all they could do was like, and like nothing. Like they could just acknowledge that they were talking to them, but they could not change
That's
anything
so
about the script.
weird.
So they had to shoot the script as it was written. There were no.
That's tough too because like there's so many times where
Yeah.
you were like, oh well, this line might be better.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Mhm.
Sing it on screen. I think we should do this.
Yep. So they said that it was really painful. It was a real struggle for them because there were a lot of things they wanted to adjust and fix, but they could not.
Well, Colton was a writer on Key and Peele, and so he's in the union for the WGA, and he wrote a tweet about it just recently where, and this is one of the big complaints about that the union has now with the current rules is a lot of web releases of shows are considered to be promotional, so they don't get paid. The writers don't get paid the way they get paid on like if the show airs on TV. But there are sketches that Colton has written for Key and Peele that have been put on YouTube by Comedy Central, and they've made in an individual video 75, 80 million views, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars that a video that big will make. And it's just, no, this is promotional. That's it. Even though these companies will take the revenue for themselves, you know what I mean? So
It's promotional money.
it's promotional money. Yeah, that I think the last time that the Writers Guild struck, one of the big things was the web series that they made for Battlestar Galactica. I want to say
Or was it The Office?
Office.
No.
Office seems like it wasn't that long ago. But maybe anyway, it's always like web stuff is always they can't ever get it straight. And you know when they build these contracts, these major contracts between the unions and the studios, you know they don't always understand where everything's headed.
Right.
And then when they get there, the studio is like exploiting the shit out of it, but the contracts aren't keeping up with it. Basically,
Office was 05 to 13.
05 to 13. What's Battlestar Galactica?
Battlestar Galactica. Let's see. It was
Wesley
04.
Willis. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Battlestar
You sang that once in an old ass podcast.
Battlestar Galactica.
It's 04 to, it doesn't say, 04 to 09.
Yeah, but the good parts were 04 to 06.
Yeah, pretty much. God,
Man.
that show was so good.
It was so good.
Okay, I know I'm going out on a limb here. Has anybody been watching the new season of Samurai Jack?
No.
Fuck.
Did you watch?
So good.
Did you watch new Rick and Morty? Have we talked about
Yes!
that?
Yes.
Ah,
I love Rick and Morty.
we,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Did you play the VR game?
No, not
No,
yet.
is it good?
I
I
want
know.
to.
I can't believe I haven't played it yet either.
I wanna-
I just haven't been busy with stuff.
I got it.
What are you doing after this?
Yeah.
If I cut you off from talking about Samurai Jack, though, people will kill me.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I assumed that was gonna be it, and that it's okay. It's I love everything Gendy Tartakovsky's touched except maybe Hotel Transylvania. But no, the last episode that just premiered last night is just like a love letter to the entire series. And if you haven't watched it yet and you are a fan, please watch season 5. Fuck, it's good. I have to pee.
All right, well, it's time to wrap up anyway.
Wow,
Fine.
Miles is leaving early. Chris showed up late.
No,
So-
I can wait. I can
let's
hold it
wrap this
out.
up.
You look wonderful. in
Thank
your
you. I'm going to
tuxedo.
stand up and button up my coat, but we're done. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Farewell. Now I'm
Good to
gonna
be
pee.
back. Go watch Laser Team 2.